Over the past 2 years, the substantial imbalance of low housing supply and high buyer demand pushed home sales and buyer competition to new heights. But this year, things are shifting as supply and demand reach a new inflection point. You're probably tired of hearing me and every other realtor you know talking about the shifting market, but I truly believe that it is my job in this profession to make sure that you're informed. And as things are changing so rapidly, it's also my job to help you get out in front of it so you can make the best decision for you and your family. And what I love about this graph that I'm going to show is it's really showing this difference of supply and demand. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad time to buy or sell. That's such an individual circumstance. But what we are seeing in real time is that supply is inching up and demand, because of super high interest rates and an uncertain market, is starting to dip down. So what you can see is the year-over-year comparison when we look at how many listings are coming on the market versus how many showings have been requested. This graph from ShowingTime and Realtor.com is a really good snapshot of what we're seeing. It doesn't mean the sky is falling, but we're all feeling that there's a little bit more time between when a house comes on the market and when it goes under contract. With higher interest rates and market uncertainty, there's no doubt that the buyer pool has dropped from its dramatic levels of 2020 and 2021. And since that demand has tampered down a little bit, it's allowing supply to catch up. A year or two ago, we couldn't even list houses fast enough because they were already getting multiple offers and going under contract. Now, since there's less buyers in the pool, more houses have the chance to be on the market, and that's causing the shift. So what does this inflection point mean if you're a seller? As of this filming, the inventory in Alachua County and relatively nationwide is still low. It's still under 4 months, and it's going to be a little bit of time before we can hit that 4-month equilibrium, which brings a balance to the market and ultimately may lead to a shift into a buyer's market as inventory grows. It's going to take some time for that to catch up because there's still a massive pool of buyers who are out there and not quite enough housing. So the timing is still in your favor if you've got a property to sell. What does this inflection point mean if you're a buyer? In short, less competition and more options than last year. We've seen a massive drop-off in multiple offer situations. They do still exist, but oftentimes now I'm writing an offer either as the only agent presenting or maybe one of 2 or 3 max. That, as a buyer, is going to allow you a lot more negotiating power and maybe even time to think about the property. And second, more houses are entering the market. So little by little, you're having more choices. Whereas there would be 1 house in a subdivision, now there might be 2, maybe 3. No one can absolutely predict where this market is heading. What we can do is just look at the data that's in front of us and make our best choice based on the options and what we know. And my hope is that I'm giving you some knowledge to empower you and to make you feel confident in what you decide to do next. And I can understand how confusing today's market is, especially when you look at headlines that maybe don't truly have your best interest at heart and just want clicks. I don't want clicks. I want you to make the best decision for you and your family. And the more you know, the more confident you can feel in your decision. So you want to make sure you're paying attention to all the data and all the facts, not necessarily the scary headlines. And if you're curious which 3 things you really need to plug into, it's the 3 I's: inventory, inflation, and interest rates. I'm Lindsey Johnson, your resource for all things real estate. See you next time.